Going on, everybody? This is Talkin Hands. We are back live previewing UFC. I believe this is on ESPN. Frankie Edgar versus Pedro Munhoz Fight Night. I'm your host, Prachanillo, as always, joined by my co-host, Slaughterhouse1 on Twitter. Jeff, how are you doing tonight, this week?
Doing good, man. Hanging in there. It's been a long week. Ready to get through this card because it's not much on here I like. Kind of glanced over it. Didn't do too much digging. A lot of debut fighters. Couple fights changed. Short notice. I don't know how you can trust your money on stuff like that. So I might be kind of a bore this episode, but we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, a lot of debut fighters, a lot of new fighters, and yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. We'll hit our sponsors real quick. If you suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, or insomnia, give Natural Heights a call. They're located at 1880 Nacogdoches Road. Phone number 210-592-1060. And if you want to bet with us, we bet on mybookie.ag. Use promo code PUBSPORTS. You'll get a 50% deposit bonus match with a minimum of $99. That's promo code PUBSPORTS, mybookie.ag. So we can just go right ahead, hit the first fight here. Our opening fight is Timur Valiev taking on Trevin Jones.
Yeah, Valiev comes in at minus 460. Jones is plus 335. Over and under 2.5. Minus 200 over and plus 160 under. What do you have, Preston?
Yeah, not a whole lot. So Trevin Jones, this is another fighter. He's coming into the UFC, late notice debut fighter. He looks to have decent hands, a good movement. Valiev, a lot more experience, definitely looks to be a better grappler. Good striking, good competition, better competition than Jones. This could be a lay and pray kind of boring fight to me. I'm going to take Valiev by decision.
Yeah, no, I agree. Valiev to me, he's got that high level Daxtanian wrestling, and he's got good feints, quick hand speed, a lot of good kicks too. Loves his inside low kicks, outside low kicks, round kicks to the body. I mean, I like this match for him. I mean, how can you bet a guy that's just coming on short notice? I know it's happened before, but not against an opponent like this that's willing to high volume grind and just keep pushing the pace. So I'm definitely on the same side as you.
Yeah, Diego says, what's up? I got Trevin Jones round 5 decision. Diego, it's 3-round fight, but maybe Jones can get it done for you. Move on. Fight 2, Matt Semzelberger taking on Carlton minus.
Semzelberger comes in minus 110. Minus is a minus 120. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 185. Under plus 155. It's another, man. These are two pretty much new fighters. I mean, Minus has been around a little bit. He has more of the experience. But he doesn't do a whole lot for me, man. He's got okay jabs, decent pressure, decent stand up, but his grappling is pretty bad. He gets taken down at ease. This other guy, I haven't seen a ton of him, but he does look like he has a lot of power inside. Great Muay Thai background, good fighter, explosive, good short range power, low kicks. I mean, he doesn't look like he's much better in the grappling department, although I do give him an edge there, I guess. Experience wise, he doesn't have the edge, but I like him, man. He's a fresh young kid. Looks like he's, to me, more powerful in the hands, a better Muay Thai fighter. Got that style, which I like, and real good in the clinch. So I'm on Semzelberger.
Yeah, so I actually agree with you there. I thought Carlton minus in the fights I watched just didn't look good at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, he didn't look like a UFC quality fighter. Not saying the Semzelberger guy is very good, but yeah, I believe I saw 2 fights on YouTube. One of the fights, he ended the guy with like an elbow inside, finished him. The other fight, he had another good knockout. And yeah, Minus looks like he knows the basics of like striking and everything, but it's not like he wasn't really putting it on his opponents, wasn't doing a whole lot. I'm going to agree there. I'm going to take Semzelberger as well to get the win. Okay, move on. Fight 3, Jordan Wright taking on Isaac Villanueva.
Yes, and mybookie.ag has that line at Jordan Wright minus 120. Villanueva minus 110. Over and under 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 110. Under 1.5 is minus 120. I kind of like that over, man. I think people get shocked right away with these heavyweight fights that they're just assuming that there's going to be a knockout right away. But these two guys are kind of like boxers, in my opinion. And Jordan Wright, to me, I know he's coming in on short notice, but he does have the slight edge on the grounds and the all around MMA game. And I know Villanueva is pretty, a tough Mexican boxer. Let's just be honest. That's kind of what he is. And tough, grindy kind of guy, likes to get inside, has some good power. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take a shot with Wright here just because I think all around he has the better MMA game. I do like the over 1.5, though. I think that's a good look.
Yeah. So Isaac Villanueva, we saw he had one fight. I think it was in June against Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman beat him up pretty good. He just seemed a lot smaller than Sherman. His opponent here, Jordan Wright, is moving up in weight. He's a 185er. Wright, to me, definitely from the fights I saw, definitely looks like he has better movement, can get in and out a little better than Villanueva. Villanueva might have a slight edge on power.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
But yeah, it's
a tough fight, dude. Because how do you, if you're Villanueva, how do you prepare for? I mean, this is a whole different guy than he was going to fight. So
yeah, I agree. I'll lean Villanueva to win the fight, but again, this is kind of story of this card. A lot of passes, not a lot of good spots to really put your money in.
Yeah, I'm just going off Jordan Wright. What I've seen as far as his takedown MMA ability, grappling, and his he can get a sub on Villanueva. Villanueva doesn't impress me at all in the grappling department. So that's the only reason I'm going with Jordan Wright here. Other than that, I'll probably lay off this fight.
Yeah,
kind of a weird one.
Yeah, I think a lot of these fights I won't want to put my money in a lot of positions. Move on to a pretty good matchup here. They were supposed to fight, I believe, in May. Finally gonna get the fight against each other. Austin Hubbard taking on Joe Solecki.
Yep. Solecki comes in now at minus 115, opened at minus 135. The line's coming in hard on Hubbard, rightfully so, coming off a pretty impressive win. Austin Hubbard's also minus 115. This is a pick 'em fight. Over and under 2.5, minus 275 over, plus 215 under. Austin Hubbard, man, he's just we know what he is. He's a super durable, great cardio, move forward. Kind of fighter, like all around kind of fighter. He's not very great at anything, I don't think, but his cardio is good. I mean, he's got good cardio. He showed that he has pretty good submission defense here. And but the thing is, he just doesn't impress me that much. I mean, I know people say, that he's avoided out on a lot of submissions from other real good black belts. And, Matson, we bet on Matson, the wrestler from Canada? Canadian wrestler, the Olympian, right? Was that Matson?
Yeah, he's Olympian. I don't
know if he's from Canada.
Yeah, I think he's from like Norway or something.
Okay. Anyways, we saw that fight. Matson took Austin Hubbard down. Hubbard goes down in every fight. His takedown defense is not great. And then he's facing the guy Solecki, who very explosive grappling, high level jiu-jitsu black belt. The more I looked into Solecki's background, he's very high level black belt. So kind of a different level kind of black belt. That makes any sense. But this is a tough one, man, because Solecki doesn't have quite the UFC experience, but and we don't know how he's going to hold up in there, because we've seen what Hubbard do. He can last 3 rounds with pretty much anyone. I think Solecki, though, it's going to be a lot of the same kind of fight as a Matson. I think he's going to win 2 rounds, getting those takedowns. He's got good level changes, explosive, and he's strong. So once he's on top, he's heavy. He'll control the rounds out, and I think that's what Solecki wins. I think it's a lot of the same. He goes 2 rounds, wins by that way, and then 3rd round, maybe Hubbard gets something going, but it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, like you said, we saw Austin Hubbard got a nice, impressive win over a prospect, kind of beat him up standing. Roachkoff couldn't get him down for too long of a period. He did get him down early in that fight, and prior to that, Hubbard got beat up by Madsen and Hamos. Selecki, this is his second like real fight in the UFC. He won on the Contender Series. Looks to be a very solid wrestler. Really wants to get the fight to the ground, hold you down, beat you up, and grind out a decision. I'd give the edge standing to Hubbard from
Mm-hmm.
uh, his last fight. He definitely looked good. He was being up Roshkov standing in the second round quite a bit. But again, if Selecki can get him down, hold him, he can grind out a decision. Probably the best bet of this fight would be over, but you're laying a
Yeah,
heavy number.
I
But
agree because that's what I was gonna say is Hubbard. You don't feel threatened by him much. Like he's not gonna knock out Selecki. He doesn't have the power in his hands. I don't think so.
right. But
Um,
I'll take Selecki by decision.
yeah, but the
Using
over
the
is a good look. And what is that number? Minus 235 it was or something?
275.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Okay. All right. Well, let's roll on to the next one. What do we got?
Mizuki Inoue taking on Amanda Lemos.
Okay. Mizuki Inoue minus 125 and Lemos comes in at minus 105. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 220. Under plus 180. What do you got here?
Yeah, so Mizuki, I thought actually looked pretty good standing her last fight I watched. She was getting in and out pretty good, and the other girl with some good combinations, beating her up and securing the win. Lemos looked very good once she got the fight to the ground. Standing, I thought she looked pretty poor personally. Definitely looks to be more of a jiu-jitsu type girl. Now this line is dropped a ton. Mizuki was like 180 earlier in the week. Now she's down to 120 or 125 actually. And yeah, I'm actually going to take the short favorite here with Mizuki. I think she keeps this fight standing, beats up Lemos, uh, and just tries to avoid the ground. Lemos, it is a good winner last fight against Granger. Granger's a pretty decent prospect, but yeah, I need to see a little more. If she beats up Mizuki here, yeah, maybe she can be a threat in this division. So, but I'm going to take Mizuki by decision.
Yeah, no, I like that too because I mean, you look at Mizuki and who she's faced. She's faced a lot of talent. I mean, Grasso, Rollins, Janaroba, and I mean, she's a very good grappler, very strong, good grappler. She is coming down in a weight class, right? She's dropping back down to 115, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's she went up, but she's back in her original weight class, 115, I think, right?
Yeah, I think Lemos is
Because she went up. Mizuki went up to fight who last fight? Who was it, man? I should know this because I've been watching, but let me just find this. Okay. Yana Wu. Yeah, she went up. Okay, yeah, so she's coming back down. Yeah, this is her suitable weight class. I know you said Lemos doesn't look good. She didn't look good in the stand-up department, really, to me either, but I've seen her look okay, and she does have power. I just don't think it's enough. You do worry a little bit about, once she gets on the ground, how that's going to affect it. And I think she's definitely going to have the size advantage here. But Mizuki's tough, man. She's strong, tough. She's got good. She does that 1-2 duck kind of combo thing. I mean, and she throws these combos, which I love because in a point fight, in a women's MMA fight, you want to rack up the points. So if this thing stays standing, I'm Mizuki all the way.
yeah, that's where I'm hoping it stays. And
Even if it doesn't, because Mizuki's strong enough, she's a great grappler. So as long as she doesn't put herself in bad position, I think she'll be okay, man.
yeah, I think with the line move, I think Mizuki's a pretty solid bet here.
Me too.
Okay, move on. Dwight Grant, super late notice. He was supposed to fight another guy, taking on Daniel Rodriguez, who's going to fight Sato. So Dwight Grant versus Daniel Rodriguez.
Yep, we do not even have a line for that.
Yeah, so right now the line, most books is around 200, 220 Rodriguez, plus 160, plus 180 Dwight Grant. And to me, it kind of makes sense. Daniel Rodriguez, we've seen him in two good UFC fights so far. His last fight, the guy was a lot smaller than him, but he beat him up pretty good standing. And then prior to that, he knocks out Tim Means. Good combinations, good leg kicks, pretty vicious. Definitely is hunting
Can
for.
take damage.
Yeah, he can take a punch. And really that's the big deal too here. So Dwight Grant, we've seen it. He fights very low output. He tries to hit you with a big bomb, tries to finish you. That doesn't happen. 9 times out of 10, he's going to lose the fight on the scorecards, and I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Rodriguez just moves in and out enough, picks him apart, not picks him apart, but puts the damage on him, beats him up standing, and secures a decision. I'm going to take Daniel Rodriguez by decision.
Yeah, no, I'm totally in agreement there, man. I like Daniel Rodriguez. He's really impressed me. He's won 8 fights in a row. He's looking pretty good here. And man, he's just a rugged guy, dude. He's a strong, tough, technical striker, has excellent lead hand, high volume, which I like. Throws a good combination of a jab and overhand left. And he's just, to me, I think he's going to, he's got the edge too. Like you said, Grant's just so low volume, man. Low volume. I can't back a fighter like that. He's got heavy hands, but that's about it to me. I wasn't very impressed with his wrestling. I mean, even if so, I think Rodriguez has a good wrestling background. We just don't see him use it enough. But I know he's there at a good gym. So I'm all over Rodriguez too.
Yeah. So, we agree there. Next fight, biggest favorite on the card, Maria Agapova taking on Shayna Dobson.
Agapova comes in at minus 1420. Dobson plus 860. Over and under 1.5. Over plus 120. Under minus 150. Man, I don't even know why we're talking about this fight, because I don't really think there's a way to bet this unless you're going to take Dobson and for dog money, which is very unlikely to happen. She's desperate for a win here. Agapova, to me, she looked very good her last coming. She pretty much dismantled freaking Cyphers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hannah Cyphers.
Yep.
I mean, destroyed her. And she does the same here, man. I see kind of a first round finish. I don't know. Maybe it goes in that second round, but I'm just going to watch this fight. There's nothing really I see I'm willing to bet. Shayna Dobson, she's okay. I don't see her lasting. She's desperate for a win. She might have a little bit extra heart in this fight, but Agapova, man, I think she's top notch. She's just going to get it done.
Yeah, so Dobson's 3-4 in the overall record, and Agapova's 9-1. Like you said, Agapova, her last fight, fought against Hannah Cyphers. Prior to that, she beat. Who did she beat?
Here's a good line. Agapova by submission plus 150.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I'm with you, though. Agapova. So Agapova has good stand-up, good striking, good knees, good kicks. And like you said, so her last fight, she beats up Hannah Cyphers, taps her out, gets the win there. Now she fights Shayna Dobson, who really shouldn't be in the UFC, with 3 straight UFC losses, with her last loss getting knocked out by Priscilla Cachoeira, who is not a UFC level fighter either. So I think Agapova gets inside, hits her with some knees. Yeah, it could be the same thing. Drops her, and she could sub her, or she could finish her, and the ref could stop it. But Agapova is definitely the only way to look. Maybe a prop, Agapova inside the distance prop, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're getting,
I was looking at that.
If you're getting under minus 400, but
Agapova, man, she's got a tough ass chin too, so it's going to take a lot to really lay her out. I mean,
yeah. So, but
yeah, inside the distance, does the fight go the distance? Yes or no? No, minus 350. I mean, that's pretty safe.
Yeah, so you're pretty much taking Agapova minus 350 to win inside the distance. So, yeah, I mean, that's not bad because you're getting a minus 1400 down to minus 350. But again, a lot of juice to lay.
I'd take her probably by KO, TKO, DQ plus 120.
Yeah, that or sub.
Sub, yeah.
Yeah, both are good looks there. So, yeah, move on. Another fight. I don't really understand why it's on this card or why it's the third fight from the top. Mike Rodriguez taking on Martian. Prachanillo.
The Poland's back for blood. They're out for him, and he needs to do something here because he hasn't looked too great his last fight. But
yeah, I don't know. You can't. I mean, this is pathetic.
I know, man. It's pretty bad, and it's gotten worse and worse. I mean, now we're just slapping events together just to have them. It's just not the same. But that's another conversation another time. To me, I think Rodriguez wins this, man. Rodriguez is tough. He's got a nice jab, straight right hand. Throws. He doesn't throw too many combinations, but I think he's going to change here. We're going to see a different guy. He's got the power. He's never been finished. Nasty in the clinch, good in knees. He keeps his distance very well. I mean, he's improving at grappling. I like him a lot. On the other hand, Prachanillo's kind of like a karate, comes out in that karate stance. I mean, he's fought some good competition, but he just hasn't looked that good to me. He's constantly moving forward. He has no defense. He's getting hit all the time. I mean, it seems like the guy takes a lot of shots, and I don't know if he leaves himself that wide open against Rodriguez if it's going to last. I mean, I'm just going to take Rodriguez here, man. I know a lot of people are on Marcin, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen much here.
Yeah, so Diego said he has Joe round 4 TKO. I'm guessing Diego has round 3 TKO. Selecki, that's a 3-round fight as well, Diego. But yeah, so Mike Slow Rodriguez take on Martian Prachanillo. Rodriguez, his last fight, gets knocked out by Dong Un Jung in a minute. And Martian Prachanillo, 2 fights ago, gets knocked out by Sam Alvey. Yep. And now we have a third fight from the top of the card with these two subpar fighters going against each other. To me, you can't really trust Martian here at all. The guy has shown a willingness not to like getting hit. When he gets hit, he runs away. Rodriguez can actually punch decent. He has a couple finishes. I think Rodriguez, but again, if he wins this fight and gets thrown to a decent fighter, he's going to get killed. Martian wins this fight.
Same thing.
Yeah, he'll get killed. So kind of loser leaves town match. Loser's going to get cut. I'll take Rodriguez. I'm not going to lay 225 with them.
Yeah, I was going to say if Marcin wins, it's going to be like a first round TKO. I mean, he's got the power edge, I think, but he's so damn sloppy. His takedown defense is shit. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he's not a great fighter. Yeah,
I don't see it. I know some guys are high on him, and I've seen a lot of people taking him, but
maybe because it's happened before. Well, kind of with Sean O'Malley when he returned, so he hasn't fought in 2 years. So maybe he's gotten a lot better, and then if he gets a lot better, he can, he could beat this guy. But
I don't see it. That's like saying Alonzo Minifield's going to come out here and be a different fighter from
the
last fight we saw.
Yeah, versus Devin Clark. Yeah, and that's our co-main event.
That's the next one we're going to talk about. So we're both on Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like Rodriguez. I'm not going to lay this price. There's not a lot I'm going to do, honestly, with this card. But
I would take the over, I think. I would take the over 1.5 even money.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Even money, because I think it turns into more of a boxing kind of match, and I don't know. We'll see.
So we move on here. Co-main event, Alonzo Menefield taking on OSP over in St. Preux.
Another close fight. These lines have been pretty close. Menefield -120, OSP -110, over and under, again, 1.5. Shit, we might have a record for 1.5s on a card. Overs -120, under -110. What do you got here, man? This is an interesting fight because we've seen how Menefield looks now.
Yeah, so Clint from Dired MMA, who I believe is going to be joining us tomorrow, put up a picture of Menefield. He put up on his IG. He looked like he slimmed down a bit, lost some of that muscle. He packs a lot of muscle on him. And then OSP, we saw his last fight. He fought Ben Rothwell. That was at heavyweight. So he cuts back down to 205 here to fight Menefield. It's an interesting fight, but again, this is kind of like just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks to me. I think the UFC would much rather want Menefield to win. I think you can build behind Menefield if he wins. But my issue with Menefield, 1-round fighter. If he doesn't get the knockout, we know OSP doesn't have a great gas tank, but OSP, at least in the third round against Rothwell, was still throwing, and that's probably the best round he had where he's still landing some stuff. Menefield's more explosive, decent wrestling. It's tough. I'm gonna lean Menefield here because I think he has a little more upside. If he shores up that gas tank, we've seen it. He throws bombs. He likes getting his opponents out of there quick. Maybe he can crack OSP with one shot. We've seen OSP get dropped multiple times, finished multiple times. And, it's just Menifield can't do the same. It wasn't even a game plan issue. It was more he gassed out. Devin Clark took his best shots. Then once Menifield gassed out, Menifield was done.
Yep.
So if that happens again, it will be the same thing. Menifield will, blow his wad in the first round, and then OSP will win round 2 and 3 and win the decision. But I'll take Menifield, cracks OSP in the first round, finds his chin, gets a knockout, and yeah, I'm going to take Lonzo Menifield round 1 KO.
Yeah, and I'm on the same side, man. I just feel like OSP, we know what he is. He's long rangey, very odd striker, kind of unorthodox. But if we're just going off his last fight where he had to go up in weight, I mean, he did absolutely nothing against Rothwell, right? Like nothing.
Yeah, and
until that third round, he maybe threw some strikes, but up until then, he was so fucking gun shy, man. I mean, how do you go into battle with someone like that against someone that we know can throw bombs and knock your ass out? I mean,
yeah, that was definitely one where hindsight's 2020, because I think us and a lot of people were thinking OSP would just use his speed, get in and out, punch Rothwell, don't get hit with the big shot, win a decision. Instead, yeah, he doesn't really do anything.
And here he doesn't have the speed advantage because he's going against a ex fucking pro football player or whatever,
Yeah.
Like the dude's incredible. I hope he's in incredible shape. I had $3,900 riding on him last fight where he gassed out, and that was tough, man, because he had Devin Clark down in that first round. I mean, all you had to do is jump on him basically and finish it, and he didn't do it. I hope he goes in there with a better game plan, because if you're going to slip up against OSP, he might tap you out.
Yeah, that's the issue. If Menifield gasses out here and OSP gets on top in round 2 or worse, round 3, OSP can sub him.
Yeah.
And then, it's just, okay, Menifield, now you're down 2 more rungs. And
my thing with OSP, though, is like you said, he is old, 37 years old, hasn't looked great, really. I haven't been impressed with him in I don't know how many fights now. And Menifield, dude, I just think he's strong enough to withstand any of that stuff, like getting out of those stubs. And I think he's got enough grappling and enough MMA experience to handle some of those submissions from him. So I'm leaning with you on Menifield.
Yeah, I mean, OSP did beat Lord Michael Olajaychuk in that fight. I lost a lot of money on that one, so I'm not a huge OSP guy. But we move on here. Main event. For sure the best fight on the card, and that's not saying a whole lot. Main event, Pedro Munhoz, Frankie, answer Edgar.
Yeah, let me pull up the lines here. Pedro's coming in minus 275, Frankie plus 215, over and under 3.5, over minus 110, under minus 120. Oh man, probably pretty good. Gonna be a good fight. I'm not sure how long it'll last. I feel like Munhoz has the power to knock out Edgar here. What do you think?
Yes.
You go first.
Okay. So we have one comment here, Ali, off-topic question. Who do you guys have in the Bellator main event? Ryan Bader versus Nemkov. Bader should win the fight, but he's up to, I think, 190 now. So if you could have got in yesterday, he was down to 120. A lot of money came in on Nemkov. I do think Bader grinds him out, wins a decision, out wrestles him.
I agree.
So with that said, Frankie Edgar, Pedro Munhoz. Yeah, I agree. Originally, when this fight was scheduled, I was kind of leaning Frankie. Then I watched a little more of Frankie. Frankie, this is his first time down in weight to 135. Career pretty much 155er. Then he went down to 145, and now he's down to 135. Why was Frankie so good? He had a speed advantage. He's not going to have a speed advantage here. Older fighter. Last fight, chin gets cracked by Korean Zombie. Munhoz hits hard. I don't think he hits as hard as Korean Zombie does. But if Frankie puts himself in that position to get into a firefight where they're literally throwing punch for punch, Munhoz is going to win that fight 10 out of 10 times. We saw it happen against Cody Garbrandt, where he knocked him out. It's not like Munhoz doesn't have decent grappling. He has pretty good grappling.
Brazilian black belt.
Yeah, his jiu-jitsu is very good. His jiu-jitsu is definitely very good. Frankie's going to try to, if I'm Frankie, you have to wrestle.
Yeah, you have to.
Problem is, Frankie hasn't wrestled in a while now. Prior to that fight versus Korean Zombie, he got the title shot against Max. He gets beaten up pretty bad, I thought, for 5 rounds. Just couldn't get anything going there. And Max just beat him up. I think Munhoz, maybe, I was going to say maybe Frankie has an edge on a gas tank, but who knows? Cutting down to 135, that might really sap his energy. Munhoz, it's just we've seen him in enough fights. He's still kind of in the prime of his career. This would be a nice, head to have on his resume. A win over Frankie would put him right near that borderline top five, 135 stacked. Maybe Pedro wins this. He fights Cheeto next. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to take Pedro Munhoz here. Maybe a Munhoz inside the distance doesn't look bad. I know some people are leaning that way, but I just think unless Frankie really gets him down and can somehow beat him up bad on the ground, I'm definitely thinking this is Pedro's fight to lose. So I'm going to take Pedro Munhoz here, probably late TKO, but Frankie's tough. Frankie could maybe survive to a decision, but Pedro Munhoz for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same thing too because I'm not honestly, man. I know Munoz. We already know that he's not the best wrestler, but I mean, like he doesn't get a lot of takedowns. He doesn't shoot for him enough, or a lot. But he has excellent takedown defense. So, I mean, let Frankie keep coming at him because I think he can get out of that, tire Frankie out, and once they get stuffs a few of those takedowns, he's going to be forced to stand with Pedro. And I don't know, man. Frankie's so tough, and I like Frankie. He's always been one of my funner fighters to watch. Like he always put on battles back in the day, and I like that about the guy. But he has declined, and you've seen it. Still durable, still tough. I think Pedro does have the power though, and the combinations to make it work to get Frankie out of there. I'm going Pedro's. I mean, I think if it goes to the mat, Pedro's good enough at scrambling. It's going to be hard for Frankie to get him down because even against the cage, Pedro has excellent cage takedown defense. And with the jiu-jitsu black belt, you got to worry about that. You don't want to slip up if you're Frankie, get the back reversed and taken. So I think Pedro has the edge here personally.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. So can move on to a best bet. For me, you're gonna lay a little juice, but I'm gonna take the minus. I'm seeing online, we'll say 220 with Daniel Rodriguez to beat Dwight Grant. I just think unless Dwight Grant hits him with a bomb, I definitely think this is Daniel Rodriguez's fight to lose. Because honestly, I actually was gonna probably take Sato over Rodriguez because Sato we've seen knock people out, and Sato has that judo background to where maybe he could get inside, throw Rodriguez and beat him up on the ground. Grant's more of a slow output, rangy striker, not really a wrestler. Rodriguez to me has the advantage standing, better striking. I'll trust him. I'll lay the 220. Just doing what our main man Miami Eric says, and just picking up what would that be, 45 cents on the dollar, and being done for the night. So yeah, I'm gonna go Daniel Rodriguez straight 220 to beat Dwight Grant for my best bet.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the well here with Menefield, man. I think he has the one punch power to knock out OSP. I think he gets it done as much as we've seen OSP pull out some crazy shit. I don't think he does it this time. And I'm going along to Menefield minus 120. I got a way worse price on him last time against Devin Clark. And
yeah,
I feel like
220 that fight.
I feel like Clark held up decent. If OSP takes some of those shots, he ain't going to hold up that well. So I'm definitely going with the Lonzo Menefield here, minus 120.
Yeah, I agree. So
I wanted to bring up something. Well, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to do the sponsors.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
whatever, yeah.
Well, I was going to bring up real quick. I thought it was funny because a couple fights have got announced. Just on the way over here, something got announced December 5th. Do you know who I'm talking about?
The Darren Till fight?
No, okay, that's one of them. Darren Till.
Darren Till is fighting. And then there's Manson.
There was another one.
Megan Anderson versus Amanda Nunez.
Oh, that's it. Like,
yeah, that's December 12th, UFC 256.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're pretty sure we know what's going to happen there, right?
Yeah. Nunez. Hopefully, you can get a fairly decent line on Nunez.
What in the hell happens after that? Like, is this her last fight? What's she gonna do?
Yeah, I think they might do her and Valentina because Valentina's fighting in November. Then Nunez is fighting in December. If they both come out unscathed, they'll do the rubber match, even though it's 2-0 Nunez. Both fights were kind of close, and that's like a decent super fight because that's what the UFC loves now
Yeah.
is super fights. They're doing what's his face? He moves down to the Garbrandt. First, he doesn't even win a fight in the division. He just moves down and they give him the title fight because he knocks out a Sun Sao.
And that's what's fucked up, because if he somehow clips Figueiredo, I mean, is he, let's be honest, is he really that well deserving of?
Yeah, it's garbage when you got a guy who James Lynch interviewed for Pub Sports Radio, Alex Perez. He's 5 of 6 in the UFC. He's only lost 1, and that was to Benavidez. He's beaten everyone else.
And he even talked about it, I think, in that interview, how it's kind of garbage that
because they were
the ranking.
Yeah, because the fight wasn't confirmed, but it was heavily rumored, and he was like, "No, f that, man. Like either me or who's the other guy? He's fighting the other guy, Moreno. They're fighting each other on that card, Moreno versus Perez, and then Garbrandt gets the title shot. So it kind of makes sense because you're getting hopefully you actually sell some pay-per-view buys and like create a star with Figueiredo. But if Garbrandt does win, I'll be pretty furious.
And then there's Charles Oliveira. Who's he fighting?
Beneil Dariush, October 3rd.
That's the one, man. That's going to be a fucking fight, dude.
Yeah, that's
going to be a fight.
Yeah, that's the co-main event to Holly Holm versus Irene Eldona. And yeah, I'm a little worried, but
I know you're always going to roll with Charles, but I mean, this is probably one of the tougher tests he's had to date.
Yeah, it's a lot going to be because what I like with Oliveira, besides the striking, is 9 times out of 10 he's going to beat the guy on the ground. Dariush is a legit black belt, so Charles
his wrestling's a little probably better.
Yeah,
which is scary.
Yeah, I think standing.
Oliveira has the edge standing, but Dariush is making strides every fight. You can tell.
Yeah,
what
he's
he
gotten
did with
a lot
that
better.
spinning back fist, if you
against Holtzman. Yeah.
When you slowed that down, like at first, when in real speed, you didn't think it did that much, but that was an incredible fucking hit.
Yeah, no, it was it was a really good win for him. Holtzman's a tough guy. I don't think he's ever been finished prior to that fight, and
that's going to be a good fight.
Dariush, gets him out of there. Yeah, I mean, but
can't wait for that.
Like you said, I'm unless the line is absolutely stupid towards Oliveira, I'm not betting against Oliveira against anyone except for Justin Gaethje. I think at 155. Definitely some good fights. We spoke about earlier. Sean O'Malley, pretty disappointed in what happened with your podcast this week. Should have just taken the loss like a man. Instead, you kind of whined and cried.
And bitch and moan and act like...
Yeah, and you said pretty much everything he said really soured my taste. That's what happened with me with some of those other superstars I'll give it to Conor. When he got tapped out by Nate Diaz, he became, he owned up, said Nate beat me fair and square. Love a rematch. We'll do it at 170. They fought again. He beat Diaz, and then he kind of rode off to the sunset, so to speak, into boxing. But Sean, you gotta switch your style up a little bit.
I don't even because something's wrong. Because I was looking at that injury, and it can be from standing on your tippy toes too, like getting ready to faint as much as they're always fainting.
Right. Yeah, he does that a ton.
Yeah, and that can also injure that ligament that it makes it hard to walk with. Which in return could have caused him to step on his foot. But and that's all he said. I mean, no one really fucking knows, but he was dancing around the day or yesterday. Like, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, he's been posting a lot of kind of troll type stuff on Twitter and Instagram,
Like, we've seen you knock out fucking, Wineland and all these other chumps, but you got your ass clipped. You didn't even put on a fight. Cheetah fucking elbowed you to death and you gave up after 2 elbows. You're knocked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that was the most pathetic thing. If you're gonna go down, fight, dude. Like, he just gave up instantly. He gave up.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It didn't help what we lost on that fight.
I don't know. That was very irritating, but we've come a long way since then. We've learned, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Like you said, or at least like I said, I really have nothing too strong here. I think Daniel Rodriguez will win.
We're starting fresh tomorrow, dude. $500. So we lost everything last fight.
Yeah.
On O'Malley.
Yeah. And speaking of that, as always, guys, bet with us, mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Deposit $99. You'll get a 50% deposit bonus. Tomorrow, we're going to start off with 500. try to rack it up again. I think our high has been, what, 3,900
39.
probably?
Yeah, we haven't peaked 39.
So, yeah, we got up to 39 last week. Last week we were pretty good.
Last week we were up to 29.
After Marab, I think we were pretty
We were
good.
up at 29, yeah.
So, and then we then we did the parlay, the Burns, O'Malley.
And it all started with Manifold, which is ironically my best bet for the night.
Yeah, so
I actually like a few. I'm just going to rat off I like Matthew Simelsberger, Solecki, and who'd I say?
Manifield.
Yeah, those are the three I'm kind of eyeing on. I've kind of eyed Solecki the whole time. I think he can really grind out 2 rounds, and maybe that third's questionable, but I just think he's more explosive and probably at one particular thing, which is his wrestling and jiu-jitsu. He's more of a practitioner, like he's just all around better at that. So we know he's got a proven game plan. And that's what I like about him and fighters like this is they can only win one way and they have to go that way or they're not going to win. So
right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's really for me just Daniel Rodriguez. I kind of agree with you with Semselberger. The only thing I hate, it's 2 debut fighters.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe the other guy has gotten better, but
like, do you really want to lay like what, $1,200, $1,500 on something, those 2 debut fighters? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. It's not a wise bet. So, so we hit mybookie.ag and Natural Heights. Suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, or insomnia? Go to Natural Heights. Phone number 210-592-1060. Located at 1880 Nacogdoches Road. And Jeff's showing it off. We have Pub Sports Radio merch. Go to pubsportsradio.com. Click the merchandise tab. We have an assortment of shirts. We have a bed slip, Talkin Hands, couple Talkin Hands shirts. Clint has a Fireball and Popcorn. Clint's coming on tomorrow. Hopefully he's going to cash one of his stimulus checks, a diehard stimulus check. We have that shirt in blue. We have the Fireball and Popcorn shirt, black and red. We usually have the diehard MMA shirt in black. So go to our website, pubsportsradio.com, to get some merch. And as always, we're located in Southtown 101 Bar and Grill, 101 Paredes Street. They are open in the patio, so you can get some food, get a couple of drinks, have some fun, enjoy this nice weather while it lasts.
Yep. And you know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to get me some wings. Best wings in town if you're in San Antonio, Texas. Come out to Southtown 101. Get your drink on. And we're going to see y'all tomorrow with Clint. We're going to have fun. Get your Fireball and popcorn ready, as Clint would say. We're going to have our proper 12 or Jameson, whatever I feel like, and we're going to rock and roll tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Ali. Let's build this bankroll back up for sure, Ali. We'll get it. And yeah, guys,
Thank you, Ali.
Make sure to follow us. We will go live tomorrow. The card, I think, is at 8. I think it's 8 to 11 tomorrow for main card. They might have moved it with these fight cancellations. So who knows? We will tweet when we're live. Clint's coming on with us. And yeah, this was Talkin Hands. We will see you guys tomorrow night.